Welcome, my dear students. Today we will learn about pharynx. Let us talk about pharynx under the following headings. Number 1, introduction. Number 2, parts. Number 3, description of each part with features. Number 4, structures of the wall of the pharynx. Number 5, blood supply, lymphatic drainage and nerve supply. And number 6, applied. Pharynx is a part of digestive tube behind the nasal cavity and the oral cavity. It is a musculomembranous tube lined internally by the mucous membrane. Pharynx extends from the undersurface of the base of the skull up to the lower border of the sixth cervical vertebra or lower margin or border of the cricoid cartilage, where pharynx is continued as esophagus. Length of pharynx is about 12 to 14 centimeter. Its width or breadth is about 3.5 centimeter at the beginning, that is at the nasopharynx, and 1.5 centimeter at the end, that is pharyngo-esophageal junction. Now let us know what are the parts of pharynx. From above downwards, pharynx has got three parts. Behind the nasal cavity, nasopharynx; behind the oral cavity, oropharynx; behind the larynx is laryngopharynx. So, from above downwards, pharynx has got three parts, namely nasopharynx, oropharynx and laryngopharynx. Now, let us know something about the nasopharynx. Nasopharynx is situated behind the nasal cavity and above the soft palate. Anteriorly, the anterior wall of the nasopharynx is deficient. Anteriorly, nasopharynx communicates with the nasal cavity through the choana. Roof and posterior wall. It is a continuous surface which is sloped downwards and backwards. It is supported by body of the sphenoid, basilar part of the occipital bone and anterior arch of the atlas. Below, it is bounded by soft palate. Posteriorly, nasopharynx communicates with the oropharynx via the opening called nasopharyngeal isthmus. Nasopharyngeal isthmus is an aperture between the pre-margin of the soft palate and the posterior wall of the pharynx. This opening is closed during the second stage of deglutition. Now, let us try to appreciate the features present in the nasopharynx. In the roof and posterior surface, these are the nasopharyngeal tonsils. which is more prominent in children and usually atrophies in adults. The nasopharyngeal tonsils, when enlarged due to infection, is known as adenoid. This is pharyngeal bursa or pouch of Lasker. Actually, it is mucus diverticulum extending upward into the substance of the nasopharyngeal tonsil from its apex and is provided with mucus glands. You see this orifice. This is the pharyngeal orifice of the pharyngotympanic tube. It is guarded above and behind by tubal elevation. This is what is the tubal elevation, which is caused by the base of the cartilaginous part of the tube. This orifice lies about 1.25 centimeter behind the posterior end of the inferior nasal concha. You see, there are two folds radiating from the salpinx or tube. The fold lying anteriorly is the salpingo-palatine fold, and the fold lying posteriorly is the salpingo-pharyngeal fold. Salpingo-palatine fold, it is a fold of mucous membrane going from the tubal elevation to the palate. Salpingo-pharyngeal fold, this fold, it descends downwards from the tube and it contains the salpingopharyngeus muscle. Now, let us learn something about the oropharynx. You see this portion lying between the nasopharynx and the laryngopharynx is the oropharynx. It actually lies behind the oral cavity. Above and behind, it is bounded by soft palate. Below and in front, it is bounded by the dorsal surface of the tongue up to the upper border of the epiglottis. Posteriorly, by the bodies of C2 and upper part of third cervical vertebra. Oropharynx anteriorly communicates with the oral cavity via the opening called oropharyngeal isthmus. Posteriorly with the laryngopharynx. Now, let us appreciate the features present on the lateral wall. There lies the tonsil in a triangular recess which is called tonsillar sinus or fossa. This tonsillar sinus or fossa is bounded anteriorly by the palatoglossal fold and posteriorly by the palatopharyngeal fold. So, this tonsillar sinus or fossa, triangular in shape, bounded anteriorly by the palatoglossal fold, posteriorly by the palatopharyngeal fold, houses the palatine tonsil. Now, let us know something about the laryngopharynx. It is the part of the pharynx which lies behind the larynx. It extends from the upper border of the epiglottis to the lower border of the cricoid cartilage, where it is continuous with the esophagus. Anteriorly, from above downwards, it is bounded by inlet of larynx, arytenoid cartilage and cricoid cartilage. Posteriorly, it is bounded by the bodies of the lower part of the third cervical vertebra, fourth cervical vertebra, fifth cervical vertebra and sixth cervical vertebra. On each side of the laryngopharynx, there lies a recess called pyriform fossa, which we will be able to appreciate clearly in the viscera. This pyriform fossa is bounded medially by the medial margin of the epiglottis and aryepiglottic fold, above by the pharyngoepiglottic fold, laterally by the mucous membrane covering the thyroid cartilage and the thyrohyoid membrane. Deep to the mucous membrane lie the structures piercing the thyroid membrane, that is the internal laryngeal nerve and superior laryngeal vessels. Now, let us learn the structure of the wall of the pharynx. From within outwards, it consists of mucous membrane. In the nasopharynx, the epithelium is ciliated columnar. In the oro and laryngopharynx, the epithelium is squamous. After mucous membrane comes submucous coat. After submucous coat comes fibrous coat called the pharyngobasilar fossa, which is attached above to the base of the skull. Posteriorly, it is strengthened by a strong fibrous band called pharyngeal raphe, which is attached above to the pharyngeal tubercle on the undersurface of the bassiocciput. Thereafter comes the muscular layer. Muscle coat of pharynx consists of striated muscles, which are arranged in outer circular and inner longitudinal layers. Circular layer comprises the constrictors. From above downwards, they are the superior constrictor, middle constrictor and the inferior constrictor. You see, this one is the superior constrictor, this one is the middle constrictor and this one is the inferior constrictor. The constrictors take limited origin from the front, that is from bones, from ligaments and from cartilages, and possess expanded insertion behind in a fibrous raphe. This one is the fibrous raphe, which extends from the pharyngeal tubercle at the bassiocciput to the pharyngoesophageal junction. Close to the insertion, the constrictors overlap one another from below upwards, like the placing of three flower pots one within the other. You see, this is the highest fiber of the superior constrictor. The highest fibers sweep upwards, backwards and medially and are directly inserted into the pharyngeal tubercle. Between the base of the skull and the upper border of the muscle, there lies a gap. known as the sinus of Morgagni, which is closed by the buccopharyngeal and pharyngobasilar fossa and gives passage to the auditory tube. You see, this is the inferior constrictor. This is the thyropharyngeus part and this one is the cricopharyngeus part. The junction between these two parts is the weakest part of the pharynx and it is known as dehiscence of Killian. Now, muscles which are arranged longitudinally are the stylopharyngeus, palatopharyngeus and the salpingopharyngeus. So, these are the muscles which are arranged longitudinally. You see, this one is the stylopharyngeus, this one is the palatopharyngeus and this one is the salpingopharyngeus. The longitudinally distributed muscles elevate the larynx and shorten the pharynx during swallowing, and at the same time the palatopharyngeal sphincter closes the pharyngeal isthmus. Now let us know the blood supply of pharynx. Arterial supply of pharynx is carried out by ascending pharyngeal branch of the external carotid artery, ascending palatine and tonsillar branches of facial artery, greater palatine artery, artery of pterygoid canal, pharyngeal branches of third part of maxillary artery. Veins of pharynx drain into the pharyngeal plexus, which drain into the internal jugular and facial veins. It communicates above with the pterygoid venous plexus. Lymphatics, the lymph vessels pass to the deep cervical lymph nodes either directly or via the paratracheal and retropharyngeal lymph nodes. Regarding the nerve supply, motor supply. All pharyngeal muscles are supplied by cranial part of accessory nerve via the pharyngeal plexus, except the stylopharyngeus, which is supplied by the glossopharyngeal nerve. In addition, inferior constrictor is supplied by recurrent and external laryngeal nerves. Sensory supply of pharynx, nasopharynx by pharyngeal branch of the pterygopalatine ganglion